Okay, the main gaming section of this thing is over now.
So you can go back to ignoring the rest of the videos.
But if you're a movie buff like Prometheus sort of is,
Kind of is, yeah.
we got 4 movies on tap.
Yep.
I think we'll go in the order in which you saw them. So
makes sense.
Let's start with Thor.
All right. For those of you who don't know, Thor started out in Marvel Comics as kind of their response to Superman. If you were to look, compare the two, you can see the similarities. Thor doesn't necessarily have the laser beam eyes and ice breath and super ventriloquism, but he does have the motherfucking Mjolnir. So, the movie itself was an average superhero movie. It fell into quite a few of the same tropes where, like, the normal chick finds them and then they fall for each other and blah-de-blah-de-blah. It's the first movie... I saw this movie in IMAX 3D, so, like, the 2 main chicks, their collagen was just right in my fucking face. And that distracted me throughout the entire movie. So I don't know if you really care about it that much, but it seemed that they could afford a surprising amount of collagen on a theoretical physicist and her assistant's budget. Also, they provided very little to the plot. But I think that for all comic book movie female leads that aren't Mary Jane Watson. I don't know. It was okay. It was average. Really nothing to go out of your way to see unless you want to know everything before the Avengers movie comes out.
Didn't you say that the trailers made Thor White Supremacy the movie?
Yeah, there were jokes about that because Thor is blonde hair, blue eyed, but
Heil Hitler.
That's just people being retarded because they forget that Aryans aren't blonde haired, blue eyed, white skinned people, and that's the blonde haired, blue eyed thing came from the Norse area, but I don't know. I give it 3 rainbow bridges out of 5.
Rainbow bridges.
If you know anything about Norse mythology, you'll know what that one is. So let's see what else. What did I see after that?
Before we move on from Thor, we're gonna keep the kind of superhero theme going. Doesn't Green Lantern come out like on Friday?
Yep, gonna see it Saturday, so that'll be the first movie we talk about in our next blog in July.
Okay.
A month from now.
Yep. So, next movie was...
Pirates of the Caribbean 4.
Which had the subtitle I can't remember.
On Stranger Tides.
There we go.
It was kind of like the first one in that it didn't have to introduce Jack, so they spent no time reintroducing him because they were already expecting you to know who he is. But what was it? It was but it did introduce the new female lead who was a love interest until like right at the end, and it introduced a new villain while bringing back old ones. And if you haven't seen the trailers, which this really isn't spoiling because he's in it, Blackbeard, the most dreaded pirate, is is the main villain. So basically, one of the plot points is that they have to find a mermaid to get a mermaid's tear to make the Fountain of Youth work. And there's like this priest that Blackbeard's crew had captured way before who ended up tagging along with them, and he ends up falling in love with the mermaid. Well, God, why can I not remember this movie? That it seemed forced and kind of left a sequel hook.
Did the third one leave a sequel hook?
Nope. Third one, the first trilogy was just the trilogy, just a trilogy. This one left. This one they know they're gonna get another trilogy for. So.
Star rating?
Actually, I've got one last thing to say.
Okay.
You know, Jack Sparrow's first mate, Gibbs, Mr. Gibbs, the kind of older guy with the mutton chops.
Mm-hmm.
He is officially the most badass character in the series, bar none. You'll find out why when you see the movie. I'm gonna have to tell Jbizzo after we're done recording.
Star rating?
I give it a 4 out of. I give it a 4. I'm trying to think of something clever. I give it 4 ships in a bottle out of 5.
Ships in a bottle.
And you know me, I like to just give the star ratings with something relevant to the movie. Without spoiling shit.
Okay, next up is X-Men First Class.
So going into it, I was already expecting it to be terrible after Wolverine Origins. I mean, they ruined Wolverine, they ruined Deadpool. It just, I was kind of cynical about it. It turned out to be pretty good, because the focus was more on Magneto and Professor Xavier. It described, how the relationship started, how the relationship with him and Mystique kind of built up to it, why Xavier's in the wheelchair. The action was pretty good. There were some unnecessarily slow moments. They fell into black guy dies first. I don't know. They one thing I didn't like is that they introduced the First Class weird, because they had like Cyclops' brother, Mystique, and a couple others. I don't know. If you're a bigger fan of the comic continuity, then I wouldn't bother seeing it. But if you like if you just want to see the movies, then go ahead.
Stars rating?
3.5 Hugh Jackman cameos out of 5.
Hugh Jackman cameos.
Yeah. Fox was it who has the contract? They have to keep him in at least once in the movie in order to keep him in the contract.
Okay, last movie. Super 8.
Oh shit, hold on. Alright, it's still recording. Okay, sorry, you're gonna have to cut that out. I was on the wrong window. Whew. That was scary for a second. Alright, so, Super 8. It's not, like the Goonies and Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It's like a mixture of those. You know those Steven Spielberg movies from way back in the day that were kind of meant for kids, but still had some bonus stuff for adults. This was like that, except it was entirely an homage to those movies, but only for the people who grew up with those Steven Spielberg movies. So, people who grew up in the 70s, who saw E.T. in the theater. Because the movie itself takes place in 79. I don't know, with the whole concept, it was very well acted, very well paced. It was just very fun to watch. I loved it. I didn't feel anything unnecessary about it. It was heartwarming.
And do you give it...
Hold on. Give me a second to think of something clever.
Oh dear. We could be here all night.
Funny. It's not helping.
He's the funny guy.
I give it 5 lockets with a picture of your mother in it out of 5. Not anyone specific, just your mother.
The fuck?
Not your mother. Like, it's your locket. It has a picture of your mother. And this is context sensitive, so to anybody listening to this.
Would you mean like the 5 people listening to this?
Yeah.
Who am I kidding? Nobody watches this. There'll be one guy in the comments like, I do.
And that guy's gonna be me. So yeah, Super 8, I recommend wholeheartedly. You have to go see that movie. It's very good.
Alright, so those were the movies. Can't believe we went like 10 minutes or like 12 minutes on movies for once.
Yeah.